Just 30 minutes ago, I saw three guys sitting in front of the little shop where I'd go to buy my mother some chocolate from time to time. And they were smoking and spitting at the ground in front of the little shop. And I have to admit, I had a bunch of fear spiking up inside of me, especially when one of the guys walked in my direction. Now, this fear is something quite common. I think a lot of guys feel uncomfortable around these guys, especially which have kind of these puffer jackets, vape a lot, are loud and obnoxious and spitting at the ground. So I can't understand why people would walk the way they are going. Because they take the cool route of guys, right? They smoke, they talk about sex with girls. They're kind of the degenerates, to be honest. So it's like the route that seems appealing to some because it's the cool route. But yeah, it feels like you get respect from other guys, but do you really? Like, if you're talking to your friends, they are unhappy with their lives, and it just seems so absurd to me how you would want to live this life where you feel as though you'd get respect, but actually 90% of the guys out there actually fear you and think it's uncomfortable to be around you. If you're in a friend group right now that you feel you don't really belong into, especially if they are the degenerates that vape, and you actually have some principles and think, yeah, I kind of don't want to do this, I kind of don't want to be around them, then I would advise you to leave. I'm not making your decisions, but I think we as young men have the responsibility to build up our lives and kind of influence the things around us, the endeavors around us. And that also involves which people we spend time with and how much we build them up. So you can imagine the guy that vapes and is out at night will do more crimes than the guy working out in the evening and living this productive, wholesome life, but kind of secluded, like most of the time in his room. Objectively, the guy in his room is better, right? Because he doesn't waste his time, he doesn't degrade his health. So being alone is actually better than to be with friends like these. Let's be honest, I'm saying friends because they are not really friends of each other. Like, they are probably jealous of each other and they don't really do anything to push each other up. They wouldn't accept their friends vaping and degrading their health. They would actively try to get them to exercise and stop the bad habits, but you don't see this by like but you don't see this with the people that are out on the streets at night. They are just wasting their time and trying to I don't even know what the goal of them is. I can just speak from my experience that I'm very glad I did not get too deep into the scene. I can just say from my experience, I'm glad I did not get sucked into this. To the guys which light the fireworks at night when it's not even New Year's. If you have somebody in mind right now which kind of fits into this picture of being like the obnoxious teenager, it's seriously the question if you want to be with them. Because honestly, if you're like me, I'm assuming you are like me when I'm talking like this, you would not really want to live the life that they are living, like this materialistic with the degenerate values or no principles at all, actually. You have higher ambitions than they have. You don't actually want to vape, but you kind of say, oh, whatever, because they've pulled you down so much that you kind of become more like them. And it's easier to do stuff with them because you're getting de individualized. You're now belonging to them in the group, and you're actually not the person you are by yourself if you're with them. So seriously, ask yourself this: is the whole things you're doing with them, would you do these things alone? And if you do, would these things be smart to continue? Quite honestly, because I didn't go down this route of vaping with the cool guys, I stayed at home and overindulged in video games. I, like, if you just many years later, after I've actually realized that video games are no use in life and that they aren't even fun to me anymore. It was okay, I'm just playing video games with them because I'm with people. If I wouldn't play with them, I would be alone. It wasn't like that I would just willingly start up Fortnite because I felt like playing. It was okay, these friends are online and I want to have some company right now. And if you think about this, this is actually quite messed up. We don't get taught in the modern day that loneliness is like it's such a huge thing, or even that, or how to handle loneliness, right? So you could be with many people, have a lot of company, but still feel lonely. And this is weird, right? You would expect if you had good company all the time, you would not be lonely, but it's quite the opposite. Like if you had good company, let's be honest, if you had some good friends, you would not feel alone. You would actually feel fulfilled in your social life. But if you had these empty relationships, which you just sat by each other and scrolled on TikTok, like some of my past mates do, what's the point really? You don't even want to do this. Or you do this because you've gotten into this lifestyle of them and now you're addicted. So please take this as a call to action to actually leave the people that pull you down and don't benefit you, that you don't even have fun around with. I know it can be quite hard and challenging to leave behind the guys that you've spent 3 years with, but if you don't even have fun with them anymore, what's the point of staying with them? We have this epidemic of guys just becoming more alike one each other and looking up at these role models which actually don't have any values, and now they try to become more like them, take on the habits, take on the vaping, so they can be the cool rapper in the gangster car. The materialistic life. I don't know if I'm the only one that can sees this or that people think, I'm a pussy. But the materialistic life is, it seems so empty. Okay, you can get the nice mansion. A good place to live is amazing. I agree with that. The car, do you really need a nice car to show to everybody that you've got the money? And then would you even spend it on a car if you could spend it on? These are just some thoughts that come to my mind. And I'm quite disappointed with many young guys. Just today, when I was sitting in a restaurant with three of my buddies, we had a boys' night this evening. One of them said that he's gonna drive the BMW down the street and he's gonna pick up some chicks. And I just looked at him and tried to contradict this with giving my opinions on the materialistic life, but it didn't seem like he was much listening. So now I actually have to realize that this guy, because I've tried to show my opinions, that he won't be like a benefit in my life anymore and will probably just drain my energy, so I will have to drop him, which is kind of a hard feeling, especially because we go to the same gym and I kind of wanted to see him succeed, but now that he's saying, yeah, I can take creatine and get your gains in 3 months that you've needed 3 years for. It's like this weird dynamic now. You could imagine if you had a friend that, like, you kind of wanted to see grow, but now he tries to take the upper hand, and his ego kind of drives him into the direction of thinking, okay, everything he says is right, so the materialistic life is good. It will be nice to drive the BMW. I don't, that he hasn't even spent so much time on the research for the bodybuilding and now takes some TikTok advice and thinks he's built better than a guy that has been researching this for 3 years. This hurts me quite a lot. And you could imagine if you were in a similar position, like you've experienced this, right? When people try to convince you that they know things better than you, even though you know that you know quite a lot about this and you have more knowledge about this than them. In no world would you want to leave them, but you would kind of have to. it feels better the moment when they try to put you down. And if this happens a lot more often, it would be just taking like the needle shot one time and then okay, it's over after that, instead of getting these almost slaps into the face by them multiple times a week. So decide for yourself if these friends are really worth your time and your energy that you could put into better people and to more positive people around you. I'm noticing right now this video is quite negative and is complaining a lot, right? We don't want that. So I might just show like the sunny side right now. So what's great is seeing that one of my friends actually sticks to his principles even more now, and that he actually also follows the humble path. And when I see that he does not yap so much about what he's going to achieve, what BMW he's actually going to ride, it's such a freeing feeling. So I'd advise to get friends around you that are more like this, that are kind of humble, don't talk a lot, but give value in their words, so that you can grow with them. Because these people will automatically get successful, I think, if they are actually wholesome people and don't waste their time changing their perspectives or trying to justify their perspectives to others, then winners focus on winning, right? To me, this shows that the good people that actually have something to say in life and actually would contribute to your life are kind of hard to come by. So nobody really wants to work anymore. It's if you look around in your school, like maybe one guy wants has some drive and knows what he wants to do in the future, but work just seems like shit. I said this before, but I think we don't. Nobody wants to get a job anymore, like a 9 to 5, right? Everybody knows that these are the jobs that just give you the miserable life, but a lot of people still get into these lives. I don't know if this is being lazy of them or if they want to actually live this. For me, it has never even crossed my mind to be okay with a 9 to 5 that is just meaningless in my life. If there was a job that would actually contribute to the world and give me some purpose in it, then of course I would take this. But the modern world just seems like, okay, you've got this office job now, you go there at 6 a.m. and you'll stay there till your boss says. I've had a job in a restaurant once, and in there we had this chef which was kind of a bad leader, honestly. He would get stressed very fast and then try to get the stress out on his employees and even the customers sometimes. So I could only understand why people would not want to work with a chef, a boss. But then we also face like the TikTok generation, which is like out to be okay, we got the Sigma grind and we want to have multiple millions of income in 1 month. They now have these false expectations in their life and live kind of in their bubble, in their own world regarding the work life and what they can achieve in so much time. You've heard these get rich in 2025 videos or seen the thumbnails of them and you thought they were cringe, right? People just take the people just take the quick route a lot. They want the instant dopamine, they want the instant gains in the gym like my friend with the creatine wants. They want the fast sex with the degenerate girls. They want to act cool so they can get the fear disguised as respect from other guys, which don't actually respect them because the smart people see, okay, they are degrading their health. It would be great if we get kind of the movement out to have more wholesome guys and actually quit their bad habits and just lead a more positive life, because you see many guys around you and they are not quite happy, even though they've got a girlfriend, but you know they are kind of unhappy because the guy has no ambitions right now. He has no purpose. He's just wandering around in life, and this makes me sad. I've lost one friend through that. I haven't seen him in 4 months, and he hasn't gone to the gym since. What's also crazy to me is if people chase the fast dopamine through the scrolling, for example, or get the nice fast food, which they will get fed through, they they kind of feel good in the moment, right? This is the point of it all. But the guys that kind of delay the gratification right now and that do the harder thing, they have more fun. They are more happy than the guys scrolling on Instagram the whole day, texting 10 girls and getting no answers. The guys that are happy are actually those who speak to girls in the city and then get rejected instead of texting with two girls at the same time. It's actually those who sweat during the workout and have some actual pain in their muscles instead of the guys that do like this cute 8 minute workout at home. Something I like to have in my head is everything the 90% do is wrong. Stop thinking like them. Especially now when you see all these aimless guys wandering around without a purpose, you can kind of see why you would not want to be like them. They are shells. They seem quite unhappy. And the guys that have the aim, the 10%, they are a lot happier. So you should actually join them. Actually, we might get up to 20% in a few years if this movement further grows, which would be amazing. So there's these two extremes right now. There's the full-on degenerates, like the 14-year-old already drinking alcohol and vaping and having a girlfriend. And then there's the nerd, which is kind of secluded from everybody and builds up these autistic tendencies where he cannot interact with people in a normal way. And both of these are kind of dangerous, and there's not so much of a middle ground right now, I feel. The degenerates are kind of far too convinced to get further into the middle of the balance. But the nerds, I feel, if you play a lot of video games, I feel that you can improve your life. Like, you have to turn a lot of things up, but you will have fun progressing in them. Talking to more people and having better conversations, for example. You want good conversations. So this will be such a no-brainer for you that you will eventually build this up by normal, by default. Because you're only around yourself, you don't really get influenced by other people to do the bad habits. So you could actually just decide that you want to turn the bad habits off. And then you will do this. And this feels such like a superpower. I've grown up as a nerd which had more friends, and I think I'm actually kind of glad that I did. I did not join the guys that were on about the cars because I did not really care. But I didn't really care about anything in life. So then, when I kind of discovered self improvement, my life just went up by such a margin. And I hope that if you can get some value out of this video, which I do all my videos for, to get you faster progress, then this really means a lot to me. Stay safe and good luck.